Hey everybody, this is Brother Jonathan. I'm sitting in front of Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York, over here near the crib. And I wanted to make this video about something that's very important to me. I've wanted to make the video for a long time, but I never got the chance to because I was busy with other things. The video is going to be about the subject of sarcoidosis. It's a serious illness, and I myself I'm suffering the effects of sarcoidosis. It's an illness that gets misdiagnosed. It looks like lupus, it looks like Guillain-Barré, it looks like multiple sclerosis. But I wanted to make this video because there's a lot of people who may be suffering from sarcoidosis and think that they're alone, because it's such a rare illness, but it's a horrible illness. The comedian Bernie Mac, he died from complications of sarcoid. The lead singer of the group Les Bouches, they had several hit songs in the 80s and 90s. She died from complications of sarcoidosis. There's several entertainers and sports figures who have sarcoidosis. Bill Russell, as a matter of fact, is one of them. And so it's a horrible illness in that it can affect any portion of your body. It can affect your nervous system, your heart, your lungs, your brain. Myself, it got me in my spinal cord. It made my spinal cord pretty much explode. And ever since then, I've been in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair now. When I first started out, I wasn't in a wheelchair, but now I am. And I can't see. I live in constant pain every day. Every day, I'm racked with pain. So much so that OxyContin and all that stuff, it does nothing for me. Nothing. The thing is, I've been living with this pain for so long that I can tolerate it, where if I were a normal person, I would be sitting in the emergency room. The pain can be excruciating at times, and sometimes I just feel like there's no hope. But the only thing you can do is keep your head up, keep your chin up, and keep busy doing things. Keep busy doing the things that you love, because there is no way to fight this illness, because there is no cure for this illness. Sometimes it'll go away by itself, just like multiple sclerosis. It can go away by itself. It can go away on its own. But if you get under stress or get in any kind of a situation where your nerves are overworking, it can come right back. So I just wanted to talk about sarcoid for a while. And a lot of people say, well, how do you know that you have sarcoid? The reality is that there's really there is a test for it that's similar to the tuberculosis test, but for myself, they had to cut some glands out of my neck and test and do a biopsy on the glands to check for the sarcoid. It's such a rare disease that many doctors don't know what it is or what it's about, and so you're going to be, sometimes you'll be sitting around and they'll say, well, you don't have multiple sclerosis, you don't have lupus, you don't have Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. What the heck do you have? They just don't know. Fortunately for me, my general practitioner had went to a talk or symposium on sarcoid, and he came back and said, you know what, I think that you have something that I heard about in the symposium that I just went to. Let me get you tested for sarcoid. And sure enough, that's what I had. But I'll say this, for people who think they might have sarcoid, if you develop a scaly dark patch on your skin, on your hands or your face, usually where it shows up, a scaly dark patch that looks like a dark spot, a dark blemish with scales in it, that's a sure sign of sarcoid. That's one of the main signs. Sarcoid is also a disease that causes inflammation. With me, my glands, my lymph glands and my glands all over my body became very huge and inflamed. They became the size of my thumb. Glands under my neck, under my chin, under my arms, they became huge. And my spinal cord swelled up to the size of a grapefruit in my lower back. It was horrible. I underwent so many spinal taps, so many spinal taps and other procedures, and it was just terrible. It was a horrible situation, because a lot of those a couple of the spinal taps the interns did, and they did it wrong, and it was just like being electrocuted from the inside. So the things that they were trying to do to me to find out what I had were sometimes just as bad as having a sarcoid itself. But once I learned that I had sarcoid, I did a lot of research on different herbs and vitamins and things that I could use to fight this illness. And I found out that sarcoid was similar to tuberculosis. So what I did was I started taking all of the herbs that fight tuberculosis, and I started taking them in mega doses. I used to spend about $500 every 2 weeks, $500 on herbs. And I tried to overdose on these herbs to fight tuberculosis. And the main herb that I used was mullein and periwinkle. You can look that up and see, do your research on that. Mullein and periwinkle. And I took mega doses of mullein and periwinkle in liquid form and pills and in tea. And 2 years later, when I went to Dr. Tierstein at Mount Sinai Hospital, the Sarcoid Center at Mount Sinai Hospital, I tested negative. So I'm not saying that mullein and periwinkle killed the sarcoid in me. I'm not saying that it did that, but that's what I used. And I tested negative a few years later, but I had to spend a lot of money and a lot of time on those herbs and vitamins. And I also was on a special diet where I cut out all meat, all dairy. I had to cut out all stress. But this sarcoid is a destroyer. Not only will it destroy your body, but it will also destroy your life. It destroyed my marriage with my daughter's wife. It destroyed my music career at the time, which was very hot. I was a very hot producer. It destroyed my vision. It took my vision away, but again, with the herbs and vitamins, I was able to make it come back at the time. But now my vision is such that it's not coming back. The vision is going again, and that's why I try to do as many projects as I can, as fast as I can, because soon I think I'm going to lose that fight. So that's why you never see me, and that's why I try to stay behind the scenes and just try to do my work and not try to be out front doing stuff. If you want any information on sarcoid, you guys can email me via YouTube. Just send me an email or send me a comment in my comment on the video, or send me a message via YouTube, and I'll definitely get back to you if necessary. If you need to know anything, if I can help you in any way, I'll even give you my phone number where we can talk over the phone. I hope that if you do think that you have sarcoid, I hope you don't have it, because it's a horrible thing. You know, people talk about, you know, other diseases again, like HIV and Parkinson's and lupus and all like that. Sarcoid is just as bad as any of them, even worse in some ways, even worse, because some diseases you pass away from, but with other diseases it can be a living death. It can be a living death where you lose everything, or you lose your job, you lose your marriage, you lose your relationships with your friends and family, because that's what happened to me. People thought that I had HIV. People thought that I was HIV positive because of how horrible the sarcoid made me look. I lost 70 pounds. I went from 225 pounds of all muscle, basketball playing muscle, down to 155 pounds. And people thought that something was really wrong with me. Nobody wanted to socialize with me. Nobody wanted to come near me. Nobody wanted to share a meal with me. It was horrible. So you're going to go through a lot with this sarcoid. You're going to go through a lot, but you know, keep your head up and keep strong, because a positive attitude goes a long way. So get with me if you need any information. I would be happy to share my experience with you, and I'm hoping that this video can help a few people who may be going through this illness. This is Brother Jonathan, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.